Hello, hello. What's up, Marcus? Impatient. Let's see. I get it. All right. Hold up. There we go. What's up, people? Hello. All having a good time. What's up, Clarissa? Hello. Alright, you're all alive in the chat. Alright, there we go. Okay, so before we get started with the bootcamp, I do have an announcement for today. Exciting stuff happening. Tomorrow there's an open house at the school hosting the bootcamp. So if you're interested in 3D and that kind of stuff, or if you want to meet other people that just do creative things, you should show up to the open house. I'll be there as well, so if you have questions about the school and that kind of stuff, go read about the open house, go join it, sign up for it. The schedule is on there if you need to know about it. There we go. Okay. That is the announcement out of the way. Other than that, let me introduce you all to what we're doing today. It is the 3D Bootcamp happening every Wednesday. Let's turn down the music a little bit. So it'll be 1.5 hours of me going through a subject, and today it's gonna be Unreal Engine. And I'm gonna be your instructor. My name is Onwa, and I'm a student here at CADA. CADA right there, and I'm on my 4th semester. Okay, so some ground rules before we start. This is gonna be totally beginner friendly, so I'll take you through everything from the very beginning to having hopefully built a little scene together in Unreal Engine. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask, because if you have a question, there's probably a couple other people having the same question in mind. How many weeks does this bootcamp last? So the bootcamp is usually a 4-week cycle, and you can sort of just hop in whenever you want. So today is Unreal Engine, and then the next time is gonna be sculpting. Absolute beginner friendly. Do not worry, I got you, Mala. Yeah, so, and this will be not my last bootcamp, but the second last one. Next time will be my last one, and that'll be sculpting. And from there, Oliver takes over, so I'm not exactly sure what happens to the cycle, but we'll see about that. He might just continue where I left off. Okay. Alright. We all excited for some Unreal Engine? Let's get into it. So if you haven't already, you all should definitely go download Unreal Engine. Why does it say YouTube up there? That's not exactly right. So I'll link it here. Boop. It's okay, people. We'll have like a real nice stream the next time, and we'll say our goodbyes. Ooh. It'll be fine. Oliver is a great streamer too, it looks like, so I'm sure he'll take good care of you all. So if you haven't already downloaded it, click the button, because it's a little bit of a download, so get that started. And for the people that have downloaded already, hold up, let me close this. Let's get into how we actually use the software. So go ahead, boot it up. And I'll just start explaining a little bit about what the software is. But first, let's just launch it to make sure that everything is like going fine for you all and it's actually working. So this should be what you have on your screen, and then you can click Launch Unreal Engine. Your very beginnings of greatness, I hope. Thank you, Rodrigo. I'm sure y'all will be fine. Maybe I'll do a guest appearance at some point too. Okay, so once you get into the Unreal project browser, you should have a couple different subcategories over here. And we'll be using the third person blueprint to start off with, because that's been doing as well. So if you're unfamiliar, basically what we have here are little templates. So you could just open a blank scene completely from scratch, but I like to go with a little bit of a template so we have something to kind of work off of, and that enables us to run around in our scene and all that kind of good stuff. Any Unreal Engine like version should work fine, as long as it's like 5 something, should be close enough. Okay, I hope you all are here on this menu and can see the third person template, and then you can go ahead, you can name your project down here. So I'll call it Bootcamp Egypt. You'll see why in a moment. You can create it right here. So I am not exactly sure. It'll be kind of up to Oliver what he does with the streams. I think the curriculum should stay about the same, but I cannot say for 100% certain what he's thinking. I also personally prefer Blender. He might be going to ZBrush Core Mini. I'm not 100% sure on that. It'll kind of be up to him. Okay, so far people. So for those that are new to the stream, actually let me ask, are there people that are completely new to the stream? So I kind of like to keep the stream interactive. So if you're completely new to the stream, put your hand up in the chat. So let's see a little hand if this is your first time, and I'll kind of take it from there. All new, okay, at least a couple people. Yep, games, third person, which enables us to run around. Okay, so let me make sure that we didn't lose anyone in the chat. So if you got to this stage and you have a project up and running and Unreal Engine didn't break your PC, put a hand up in the chat. So I did, so I'm gonna put my hand up. Yes, third person. Games third person, that's the one. So put your hand up if you're able to launch Unreal Engine and stuff didn't break, and then I'll kind of start explaining from there. Okay. Great. So a lot of you all might have used software like Blender or Maya or something of that sort, and you might be wondering what the whole Unreal Engine deal is about, which is why you might also be in the stream. Version 4.2, that might be a little bit old, Mala. I think probably an Unreal Engine that's 5 point something would be appropriate. I mean, you can see how similar it is. I'm not exactly sure. I've only worked with the Unreal Engine 5 personally. PC needs different driver / support. Get it sorted out. I'll explain about the software. You guys have time to kind of fix anything if it broke. I don't exactly know what kind of driver you would need for your PC, but anyway, so if you're wondering what the whole Unreal Engine deal is about, so basically if you're working in traditional 3D software, they're gonna take a long time to render each frame. So Unreal Engine cheats a lot, and it still looks pretty good, but it renders very fast compared to something like Blender, right? So that enables Unreal Engine to be used for a lot of cool things like games, because you don't have to sit there and wait for every single frame to render. You can see the lighting in what we call real time, meaning you don't have to wait for it to update. You can run around, you can play your game, and everything looks nice and crisp. So that's mainly why you would use Unreal Engine for something like games. You can use it for indie film production or even bigger productions. It's getting used for that too, because it's just very nice to be able to see your lighting update in real time, especially if you have actors on set and you're using like a virtual kind of setup with the screen behind them and everything. Okay, so that's basically why anyone would want to use Unreal Engine, right? It's just super fast. What did you miss? Didn't miss much. We're just getting started with Unreal Engine. Just told people to launch and choose the third person game's blueprint or template. So if you're using Unreal Engine and you're coming from something like Blender, you would want to make maybe your models, the kind of stuff you're used to in Blender, and then you can import them over to Unreal Engine. Okay, sorry, choking a little bit here. Can you do motion tracking on Unreal Engine? Yes, I'm actually working on a project currently at Brainbar Studios, and we had 2 actors in like optical motion tracking gear, and we're doing a little short film with astronauts, so we had them up hanging and stuff in the air, and we had to do stunts with them. We could actually see in real time on the screens what those 3D astronauts looked like, because Unreal Engine can render it out instantly, right? So we could see on the screen on our set that we built what the whole shot was gonna look like. So it is good for motion capture stuff. Yeah, you just should just be able to click escape. Yep. And in your opinion, motion tracking is better in Blender or Unreal Engine? So, your motion tracking, right? Like, for the movement, it doesn't really matter if you're using Blender or Unreal Engine. So for animation, Blender might have some tools that are very nice, but Unreal Engine kind of just enables you to do other stuff, like render it in real time, or it might have some plugins that kind of help with stuff like that. I think the plan, if I had to work on the animation for the project, I would probably clean up the animation in Blender and then import it into Unreal Engine. Yeah. So for motion tracking, it's not exactly that Unreal is better than Blender. It's just that Blender and Unreal Engine can give you different results, right? You can get a pretty good look with Unreal Engine instantly, and it will run in real time. If you need like physically accurate lighting, it might be better to use something like Blender. Okay. Anyways, so to move around our scene, what we do is we hold down right click. And I hope all that made sense, people. And if something goes too fast, if you didn't understand something, if something goes too slow even, just use the chat. That's why we do it live, it's interactive. I can help you guys out when you need it, how you need it, right? So to move around your scene, what you do is you hold down right click and then you click WASD. So if you've played games before on a PC, this might feel familiar. It's a little bit unusual compared to your normal controls. But it's very nice for when you start having these large worlds and you want to fly around in them. If you want to go slower or faster, you just gotta scroll your mouse wheel while you're moving. So you can scroll it down to go super slow or scroll it up to go super fast. If you wanna, hold up, I should probably, you guys might have a scene that looks a little bit closer to this, right? So if you wanna nav or move stuff around, what you can do is you can left click objects. Yes, you can rewatch everything later on the YouTube. It is under the live section of the YouTube. Everything is re-uploaded there. So to move stuff around, what you do is you left click it and then you can click W to get out the move tool. It might be out by default, and then you can drag around these arrows. You can also click the move tool up here. If you click E, you get the rotate tool. You can rotate here. If you click S, oh, sorry, R, Blender hotkey in my hand. If you click R, you can scale up and down, okay? You might see that also you can Control Z if you've used any other photo editing software, something like that. It's all the same. Control Z to go back. You might notice that everything is a little bit snappy. You see, it's kind of snapping to the grid, especially with the scaling. So there's snapping options on by default up here in the top right in Unreal Engine. You can adjust them if you need to. So you can snap to 45-degree angles right here if you click this button. Or you can turn it off completely and now you have like smooth movement. Same with the grid. You can adjust how much you want to snap and scale, okay? So if you turn all of them off, you have smooth movement. Will there be any project today or just Unreal Engine basic steps? So today is gonna be about Unreal Engine basic steps, but we're gonna teach those through a basic project. So by the end of today, you will have a little scene put together. So that'll be fun. So for right now, I'll just do some very basic stuff, okay? Just to tell people what they're actually looking at on the screen, right? Okay, so other than that, what you see on your screen up here is what we call the outliner. So this is basically just a list of everything that you see in your scene. You can select stuff on here. You can control click to select multiple things. You can search for something if you lost something and you really want to find it. You can search for cube, for example, and then you have all your different cubes and you can select what you need. Let's see, is there a camera? No, but there's light. So you can select the directional light. It's right there, and then you can rotate it. That's also one of the cool things to kind of showcase the real-time capabilities of Unreal Engine. You see how fast the light updates, and you can see your changes instantly, like even interacts with the clouds and stuff. So that's super cool. Okay, under that you have the details panel. This one is context sensitive, which means that it will change depending on whatever it is that you have selected. So right here you can see under the transform tab you have the coordinates of whatever object it is that you are currently on, and you have other information on there like the material and the shape of the object or the form, whatever, that kind of stuff, and we'll get more into that a little bit later. But that's it for now, for the very basics. And now we should get into how do we actually, because we could sit here and try to make a level out of these cubes, right? You can just click Control C, Control V to copy something. But that won't be very exciting, right? We kind of want to make a level with some cool assets. So I'll kind of go through how we actually get assets into the engine at this point. But first, let me ask in the chat, are you all alive? Are you all doing fine? Is all of this kind of making sense? Like the powers of Unreal Engine, like what it kind of does a little bit differently than Blender, and can you navigate around the UI and all that? So I can do those things. So I'll put my hand up in the chat. If you're able to navigate around, if you're able to move stuff around, just put your hand up so I can make sure that I haven't lost anyone at this point. And if some stuff is not making sense, please do ask questions in the chat. I'd love to answer all of them. I'm using a Mac and needs to run some Xcode Studio in the terminal. Anyone knows how? I'm sorry, I don't know how. I wish I could help with that. I have never used a Mac before for personal stuff anyways. Been working with Unity for over a year now, so far so good. So you're probably kind of familiar with a lot of the stuff that's game engine related. How do you move the object? So you left click it, and then you can click the move option up here. Click W as well, and then you can just click and drag around. You You can click E or R to get the rotation and then the scale. Okay, so to import stuff into the scene, we need to open up our content drawer. So to do that, we go to Window, and then look for it, Content Drawer, and just click number 1 here. If it doesn't snap at the bottom here, I would recommend snapping it because we're going to be using it a lot. So you can just drag and drop it down here. And what this is basically a little drawer, as the name suggests, which has a folder structure. And this is where we store all our 3D models that we want to import into our scene. This is actually a folder structure that is created on your PC. So anytime you make a new folder in here or import a new asset, that will be stored on your PC as a new folder or a new 3D object. Yeah, first launch takes forever. Yeah, it kind of does, but you'll be fine in a moment, I hope. Okay, before we continue on, we need to import some stuff here, right? We already have the basic stuff from the preset, like the mannequin and that kind of stuff. But what I want to work with today is this stylized village. Like Egyptian, or not village I guess, but a little city here. Oh, what's going on? Okay, so kind of take you all through how to do this.
Hey everyone, what?
Oops. So I'll paste the link right here. You all open this thing up and then click add it to your library, and I'll take it from there. So if you're really not a big fan of the Egyptian theme, there are also other packs that you can use if you feel like it. Just search for stylized free environment on the fab.com website. So Fab is basically the Unreal Engine marketplace and Sketchfab kind of combined together, and now they have fab.com. So it's a huge website where you can go ahead and you can download whatever assets that you want. Some are paid, a lot are free. Some are free for a period and then you can get them and have them forever. So right now, for example, you can download the Sci-Fi Lab asset pack and you can use that for free. There's a bunch of stuff. So for today, I just scoped out and found this Egyptian pack here. So click it, click add to library, and once you've done that, you can click view in launcher, and then you will have your Fab library down here. You might have to click this little button to update it to show the one that you just added. So I have a lot of stuff here, as you can see. You can search for Egypt and then it should come up. Okay, so it's 700 megabytes. It might take a while if your internet is super slow, but perhaps it's not that bad. Some of these packs can get huge, like 20 gigs and stuff like that. This one's not so bad. So what you do is you click add to project, and then you gotta find the project that you just made. I named mine Bootcamp Egypt, so just click add to project, and then it'll start downloading at this point. So I already did that once before, so mine will be instant. It's kind of like the pre-baked cake on the cooking shows where they pull it out the oven and it's already made. So it's already in my scene here now. And you'll get a folder. If I lost you at any point during the process or just now, just ask in the chat, because I'll be waiting for like a quick minute before I go on. So people probably have to download and that kind of stuff. And maybe while we wait for the downloads, once you have it in your scene, by the way, feel free to let me know in the chat so I know when people are kind of caught up with that. But in the meanwhile, I can kind of showcase some of this. Some of the stuff that's in the pack. The Epic Games website is confusing. The fab.com one, it can be a little bit, just kind of gotta get used to it. It says not compatible. Does it give you the option to import anyways? Usually it gives you the option to import anyways. Oh, that would suck if it's not compatible. Okay. Give me a moment. If you find that it is not to your taste or it's not compatible somehow, that would really suck if it is. Here's a link for other options. Okay, so on this link there's a bunch of other packs. I hope one of these should be compatible. I mean, we're gonna be doing the same thing regardless, so you might be able to get one of these packs. I'm really surprised it would not be compatible. I can't really imagine why not. It says right here, I'm sorry about that. Is anything compatible with 5.5? It said like nothing is compatible with 5.5. I feel like there might be a way to import it anyways. I would be really surprised if there's not. It seems a little bit unreasonable that you shouldn't be able to. Sorry about that, man. But here we have like a kind of like a map preset that was included with the pack. So you guys can kind of see what is possible with this little asset pack that we have. See if we can actually play it, what happens. Yeah, and we can play it, and now we can run around in this little environment that was created for us. So we might not be able to create something this grandiose, but we can try. Okay, just waiting for people to catch up. Do let me know if you are caught up and have downloaded the pack. Assassin's Creed, hell yeah. Those games are really crazy. Probably don't quite have the time to create something like that for today, but I mean, we can try our best. Let's go. Hell yeah. Oh, did they put something inside the pyramid? Let's see. Not that much. You can also, like, these kind of things are good to sort of look at to see how they've done them. So you can see there's a bunch of assets that they've imported, but they also have these things called decals, which we might get to play with a little bit later. So these are like stickers that you can put on top of your meshes, and they kind of just give the illusion that it's like a texture that's on the building. It's not, it's just a decal. So we can kind of understand how this pack was meant to be used by looking at this kind of preset here. So you can see they're just kind of sticking on a bunch of dirt and those kind of things. Okay, let me ask in the chat, how many of you all got to the point where you see the stylized Egypt folder inside your content browser? I do, so I'm gonna put my hand up in the chat. And if you do too, you should also put your hand up in the chat, just so I know that everybody didn't get lost at this step. I think from here on out, it's just like a lot of playing and a lot of being creative, so put your hand up in the chat if you did. If not, let me know what happened. Like, are you guys downloading? Did something go wrong? How y'all doing? Okay, we got some people following along. That's good, that's good, that's good. You got it working too, that's nice. Okay, great, let's hop back to our original level. So, for those wondering, what I just did is I jumped to a different level. So everything is stored in levels inside Unreal Engine. Same concept as the scenes in Unity. Alright, so let's just go ahead and check out a little bit what's inside our pack here. So if we go to the stylized Egypt folder, we'll see we have meshes. And inside here we have props. Okay, so here are some of the 3D models. We can just click and drag them into our scene. Okay, Mala. Sorry about that. But yeah, we can just drag stuff in here. It's very easy, it's very fast. There's a snapping option on by default when you drag it in, so you can kind of put on top of stuff or on the floor, that kind of thing. Let's see what else we have. We have some plants, some foliage. The first time you drag something in, the shader will have to compile, so that might take like a little second. What else do we have? A building section. This one is quite large. Then we have bricks and that kind of thing. What else? Like a wall piece, bunch of wall pieces down here. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm probably gonna make like a little courtyard area. People are welcome to do whatever they want. So at this point we should just start to like throw stuff in the scene, see if we can get creative with it, figure out kind of what we want to do. So there's a wall here. What kind of wall piece is this? A little bit busted up. Wall corner. Different wall corner. So to start off with, we can kind of just like, I'll Control C, Control V this floor, and then just scale it up a little bit. Okay, just to kind of get like a, oh, I'm not being very good with that. To kind of get like a base layer for us to build the scene on. So I'm imagining I'll build like a little courtyard. We're inside here, and we might be able to see some stuff on the other side of the walls. So you can imagine I'll kind of replace these walls with buildings and that kind of stuff. And then maybe we'll have stuff outside. Okay. Okay, we have a bridge. Is that a bridge? Yeah. We're just kind of basically brainstorming. I'm just winging it right now like I usually do. And feel free at this point, right? I'll sort of go through the things that we need as we need them. So at this point, just drag stuff in and see if you can figure out like a cool scene setup for your own thing. It doesn't have to be exactly what I have. That's kind of the point where you get to be creative and play with it. If you want to delete stuff in the scene, you just click the delete key on your keyboard and it'll get rid of it. You can also be a little bit cheeky with stuff, like you can turn things around and use them in ways that perhaps they weren't meant to, but they might be good for that. So I'll turn on my snapping and I can snap this to 45-degree angles. Then I can put it right here. You see, it probably wasn't meant to go right there because there's a door in it that leads to nowhere. But from this angle, it looks fine, right? It kind of looks like it was meant to do that. So get creative with the pieces. It's kind of just like building a set out of Lego pieces, right? You just kind of use them for what you need them for. Is there like a pillar of sorts? There's like a wooden one. That might be cool. Can we perhaps create an overhang of sorts? What do we have here? Or just like a stone pillar? Okay, I find that to be a little bit cool. Just sort of lightly think about what you want for the scene. It would be nice to have some kind of focal point of the scene, right? So maybe we have the courtyard right down here in the middle and we sort of frame it with everything else in the scene. So we can clean up a little bit here. So we have some floors. It would be cool actually to have some kind of wooden floor right here in contrast to all the sand stuff, right? So we make sure that this is like a special area. I think that's a good idea. Rhino 3D. I think the only time I've heard of people using that is for like jewelry and that kind of stuff. I'm sure you could, but I wouldn't say that Unreal Engine exactly leans itself towards like extreme precision, if that makes sense. Like I'm sure you could, no doubt about it. I mean, the most precise, or you can get a little bit precise with the snapping options, but yeah. Unreal Engine has a little bit more of like a sandboxy feel, if that makes sense. It's not like super precise or anything like that. Like you can use it to do quick concepts and that kind of stuff too. Like just be dirty and throw something together. Dirty as in like not exact, just kind of this goes here, that goes there, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Like even here I'm just gonna get creative with it. Like I need to plug this hole, just gonna take a wall, turn it over, fill it in. Like that's good enough. No one is gonna know that that was a wall. I really like these kind of circular elements, so let's see if we can integrate them a little bit. So that's very cool. At this point it's just about, you know, playing with it a little bit. I just want you all to get familiar with the basic hotkeys, you know, like putting stuff in, navigating. That kind of thing. Alright. Maybe we need a little bit of a trim on this wall here. Let's see if we cannot do that. So I'm being... It's very rough with these pieces. And you know, they might not exactly be used for what they're meant for, but it looks kind of alright, you know. If you ever get this kind of popping effect here, that's what we call Z-fighting. And it's because two objects are like exactly on top of each other. So the software can't figure out which one goes on top. You just move one of them a little bit and then they'll fix it. You can shift select multiple objects and then Control C, Control V those and duplicate all of them together. Okay, so we're starting to get something. This building column, if we kind of make it really fat, so you can scale on two axes by clicking in between them, and you can scale something to be really fat like this. Might be able to make it look like, you can scale it up to, like this goes right here. Oops. See how that looks. Oop. Okay, it doesn't look fantastic. Let's scale this one up a little bit more. Oh, it would have been cool if it was kind of like that, right? That would have been kind of sick. Should we do that? Nah. No, we already put the pillar there. Okay, and I think this will be fine from down here. That looks a little bit cool. Okay. I keep getting dragged longer and longer below the map. How do I move by the Z-axis? If you want to move something by the Z-axis, you should just be able to click the little arrow and move it up. Unless I'm misunderstanding what you're asking for. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit. Marcus, are you still in the chat? Just checking. Just checking. Maybe there's a little door here. We can click play right here on the green arrow. Top left, and then we can just kind of check scale of stuff too. Yeah, this door feels to scale. That's fine. Are there windows? Yes, there are. Okay, this wall definitely got scaled up a little bit too large. It's fine. Let's just keep moving. I guess we can board up this thing here so we don't have to do stuff on the other side of it. It's the view. I'm unable to rotate the camera as you do. I can only rotate by y-axis but not look up and down when moving around. The camera is angled a bit down, which dragged. To move around like I do, you hold right click and then you click WASD And if you want to go up, you just look up and then click W. Left and right click. Okay. Alright, great. I'm glad you figured it out. So, what if we made a little overhang here? So I'm thinking maybe this central place here is like sorta, maybe like a little chill area or a marketplace, something along those lines. So I'm gonna line it with this wooden flooring here. Let's just clean up a little bit. Copy this over to the other side, right here. Then for the back, we put down a little wall. Okay. So maybe we go with something like this. And then something like that. We can probably put a little door here. So it's just about getting creative with it. Was there not like a door we could put? Yeah. That would be a little bit too strange. Oh, there's like other stairs we can use here. Is there like a straight stairs? No. Okay, fair enough. What's this piece? That's cool. I want to use that. Okay, so we're getting kind of like a scene going here. And maybe we can have like a big spherical thing here. You know, this scene is not gonna work from all angles. But that's just the way it is with like every scene you kind of create in 3D. It doesn't have to work from all angles. Just like the space down here where we will be. Okay. Then we have pyramids somewhere. What are those? Okay. We can sort of add some pyramids as like backdrops. Just to make it feel a little bit more like there's a world outside of these walls. Alright, let's play it and see how that feels. Okay, we're starting to get something sort of cool a little bit. Okay, how are people doing? Are you all able to work on your own little thing currently? maybe we should explore some of the other like how should I go about this? So if you want to change the surface appearance of an object, right? Like if you like where this square is, but you want to change it to a different material, you can do that as well. So let me show you all how you do that. So out here on the right side, let me get out of here for a second so I can see it. If you click any object, it will have its material right here. So if I click this cube that's on the floor, we'll have this prototype grid gray material. But I can go ahead, if I go to my materials section here, I can go ahead and change it to like a pyramid material. Or like whatever, this block material. Now it will fuck up some stuff like the scale, so it's not always especially useful. But you can even put funky stuff like the plants on there, like what the hell is that? Okay. So you can do that, and then maybe you can copy these panels across here. So I'm leaving like a little gap on purpose. Okay, we can move it over. Now we have this little wooden flooring down here. I'm literally just gonna shift select everything here and probably copy that over to the other side. Okay, Control C, Control V, and you can rotate it. I could go over like a bunch of weird hotkeys and sort of smart things you could do in the software, but I really think the most value I can give you all on 1.5 hours is actually just using the software as much as possible with the basic stuff. Because you really can do a lot already. Like, look at how much stuff we're making, and we've basically went over like 4 different functions, right? Well, let me get back here so you all can see me. Okay, maybe we can figure out some greenery where we're gonna put that, so we can go to meshes and plants. So maybe they have like some plants plotted here. There's vines that can creep on the walls. Okay, just gonna block these doors off, and I think at this point we have like a sort of closed off play area here, so now we can focus on everything inside. Can decorate a little bit with some vines. Maybe I want it to feel kind of like a lush little oasis in the desert. You can turn on surface snapping here, so if you drag something in and you want to move it, it would just snap. If you click the little white thing in the movement of your movement gizmo, in the middle of your movement gizmo, it will just snap to whatever surface. Okay. Let's see what we can put in here. Props. So let's clear the area a little bit. Okay. So it's really up to you. Be creative about it. You get to kind of be the little concept artist now. Okay, and I want to kind of have this roof covering. I think that would be cool. Alright. So maybe there's like some shade here, and we could plant some vines on this if we wanted to. Just shift select all of that. And then Control C, Control V, copy it out. Feels very nice, and then maybe we can put some vines around that. Yeah, so just get your creatives out. Okay, and maybe there's some that's like creeping up the side here. Like even just telling that story of like the plant, you know, how it grows. Just kind of figure out what is actually happening in your scene, you know. So I wanted to feel like this little oasis, kind of rich, maybe like a merchant's stop, right? Where they can kind of chill. Maybe we can add like a little wooden beam here. Okay, it's fine. So I'm not being very careful about accuracy and that kind of stuff. I'm just sort of making sure that I get it down. Okay, is there some kind of light here? There is not. Okay, let me show you all how to make a blueprint now. So at this point, I wanted to put like a little lights fixture in here, maybe with a candle in it or something like that. But there's nothing like that. So we can actually build our own little object. So if we go out here to stylized Egypt, we can make a new folder or not. We can call it blueprints. So blueprints in Unreal Engine is basically like a collection. You can use it as a collection of things. So I'll right click and then create blueprint class asset, and I'll make it an actor. So an actor is just like anything you would drag into the scene. Like a camera is an actor, an object is an actor, everything is an actor. So I'll call this one light fixture. I'm not sure if you spell it like that. But then I'll double click it. So double clicking anything inside your folder structure is how you go and edit something. So I'll double click it. And I'll open up this little second window here. And in here I can start dragging things. So I can go ahead, for example, from my building tab. If you have two monitors, that makes this a lot easier. But I could go ahead and I could start dragging in a window, for example, and a wooden beam. And maybe now I can start making like, I can basically build a little Lego object inside here, okay? Just using the pieces we have, we can make a bigger piece, if that makes sense. Okay, so I want to make like a little basket for our candle. Okay. There we go. Then maybe we can maybe we can put in one of these. What does that look like? No. Okay, fair enough. Put in a wooden beam. Kind of make this look like thread. I mean, it'll look fine from a distance. Of course, if you're making like a real high quality game, you wouldn't do stuff exactly this way, but for now it's okay, just to kind of show how to do it, what we're doing. Then maybe we can put this in the middle as like a placeholder for the candle. Now, if we want to put a light in here, we can do that. So we need to open up a tab that we haven't used before. So just like we did with the content browser, if you go to Window, you can click Place Actors, and you get this Place Actors tab in here, where you have like basic stuff like the shapes, but you also have the lights in here. So Window, Place Actors. What's up, Fi's Curious? Name is fitting to your comment. You are more than welcome. So I just pulled in what is called a point light here. I can move it up. And yeah. Okay. Okay, but maybe we should add the light in the scene instead. Okay, that's fine. We can click compile and save. And then once we go back to our blueprints folder, we now have something called a light fixture in here. We can drag that out, and then we get this little basket. But this could also be cool to, like, say put plants in or something like that, right? So maybe they have this out here and then they would pot some plants in it. Could be. So go to my meshes and then go plants. Maybe they have this kind of plant in it. So we can actually kind of make our own assets from an asset. Or already existing assets, right? So now we have these cool little plant boxes that are hanging. Oh, I gotta turn off snapping. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But let's see if we can't use them for the original intended purpose. So I wanted to make like a little lights fixture here, because it got quite dark. If you feel like your shadows got too dark, you can actually search for directional light. That's like the main light we have, and then you can adjust the settings down here. So there's one called indirect lighting intensity. You can crank that up and you see it makes the bounces stronger. If we want to put a new light in, we can do it like this. Then maybe we can make it a little bit of a warm tone. So I'll click use temperature, and then I can adjust the temperature right here. So now it looks like we kind of have a little, some candles lighting up that entrance over there. It's kind of cool. Okay, we can go over to the other side. Whoop. How you all doing? Oh, let me get back here. Okay, people, we have about 20 minutes left of the stream. So I would recommend people sort of kind of finishing up something. And the reason I'm saying that is usually by the end of the streams, what we do is, if you're completely new here, we go and we share what we've done on the 3D Bootcamp channel on the Discord. So even if you're not completely done with whatever it is that you're doing, you can see there's lots of like work in progress pictures on here. It's just fun to see what everybody has done and sharing it with each other. So if you're not already on the Discord, I would recommend that. I'll just create a link here and I'll post it in the chat. So right here, there's a link, join it. And then once you're ready, feel free to post in here. I'll work a little bit more on mine and then I'll post it too. Okay, now we can go to the materials, and in here there's decals. So decals are some of those things that we saw before that was kind of like stickers. So we can put those on. Let's see what we're working with here. So yeah, okay, I see we might have to rotate that to fit correctly. So we can turn on the snapping to like 90 degrees. Just rotate that. So we can put that here. What else do we have? We have some ornamental stuff. This wall is pretty barren. If you get this kind of thing, you can just scale the decal down to make sure it doesn't affect that wall. There we go. What else do we have? Anything cool? That's kind of cool. There's like a little pattern there. So if you wanted to, you could put a pattern somewhere. There's dirt. That's a bunch of stuff. Okay.
Step into Wix.
Okay, I wonder what else we should add to this scene. Maybe some more props. It's not too much to choose here. Could sort of decorate a little bit with some pots around. We don't want to over detail the scene as well, you know, it's important with a little bit of rest too for the eyes. Okay, how's it going, people? I hope you all are still alive and well. Maybe we can integrate these walls a little bit more. that's pretty cool. Is there something we haven't used really yet? I think we've gotten around quite well. Okay, so if we play around here, we might be able to find like a nice angle to take our screenshot from. Maybe something like that is cool. Okay, if you have problems ever with your hitbox, you can actually fix that. So you just gotta click whatever object it is that's giving you problems with the hitbox. So you can find it in your folder structure, whatever. Double click on it and then just search for collision. And then say collision complexity. Use complex collision as simple. And now it will just use the mesh itself as its collider. So when we play, we should be able to just walk through there now. Yep. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot, the way to do it, the way I usually do it is I just click Windows Shift S. Windows Shift S. It just makes it easy. So I would recommend people at this point take your screenshots, post them in the chat. I'll spend like the last 10 minutes of the stream kind of going through those. So maybe here is a decent shot. Not really. Okay. So Windows Shift S, and then after you've done that, you can literally go to the Discord chat and just click Control C or Control V, sorry, because it'll be copied. Okay, so I'll take a couple different screenshots. And maybe we can just take one from the air as well. Let's find a cool angle. Something like this. Right, there we go. and then I'm just gonna click Control V. Those are probably gonna be my screenshots. Could be an Overwatch map, perhaps, if we spend way longer on it. Something like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna write here. Here's what we did. Okay, and while I wait for people to post their stuff, let me just remind you all that tomorrow is the day that we're doing the open house at CADA. I'll be there. I'll be happy to answer your questions and talk to you all. I think you should go if you just want to meet people that are interested in 3D and that kind of stuff. Also, just if you want to know more about the school, it is the place to be when that happens. So open house event tomorrow. I'll link that as well in the chat, so do join it if you're interested. Look at it. And I'll just give you all a moment to post your thing in the chat. So hopefully by the end of today's stream, what you all will have learned is just like how to navigate around the software, how to build a little scene, kind of tricks you can use. And then from there you can kind of build on top of that, because there's really many directions you can go with Unreal Engine. But at this point it shouldn't be so scary to like learn a new feature or something like that. You can save the level, current level as, and then you can call it something like Egypt scene. Okay. So now it will be saved here. So if you double click this, you'll go to Egypt scene, where you left off. You can go to, this was where we started, third person map. So these are like different levels where you save all the stuff. Go back here. That's kind of how you save it. Okay, how y'all doing? Are people actually sort of taking screenshots and all that? So put your hand up in the chat if you're actually kind of, you know, working on something, mixing up, cooking up something. So I already did. I'll put my hand up in the chat. So if you are, just let me know. I'll wait a little bit longer. I'll wait for 5 more minutes for people to kind of finish up and start posting. What is up, Katrin? Hello, hello. How are you doing? You want to see my little scene here? We did like a little Egyptian kind of courtyard thing. This is kind of cute. And right now I'm just waiting for people to post so I can take a look. Sometimes I wonder if people are just afraid to be the first one. So the shortcut for a screenshot is Windows Shift S, and then you get this little thing. You can just drag, let go, and then you can click Control V in the Discord chat and it'll paste the screenshot. So Windows Shift S and then Control plus V. You can also search for in Danish klippe, and you'll get the klippeværktøj. That's the same thing. You can use that. Or it's called clip or snippet. It's called snippet tool in English. You can click new and then you can take a screenshot of something. Now, if this was an Assassin's Creed game, like y'all suggested in the beginning, this would definitely be the place where, you know, the rich kind of evil guy would be walking with his goons out here, and you'd be dropping down from this thing. Something like that, I don't know. Or maybe they'd be drinking tea out here somewhere. Okay, let's see that. Get. Okay, let's see, people are typing. They are getting their stuff ready. I hope today was okay for you all. I hope you all learned something as well. I hope it was useful. Oh, the store really doesn't lead to anywhere. No one will know. It's fine. Huge ass windows. You know what? How about we just turn it into Assassin's Creed? Maybe we make some kind of way to get up on the roof. So maybe we start with some boxes right here. Okay. Couple boxes, you jump. And then there's a ledge. Very conveniently placed ledge. Feel like I saw one. Okay. And then there's another incredibly convenient ledge placed over here. Let's see if we can actually jump up. Okay. Where do we go from here? Just a series of even more conveniently placed ledges. These are the ones that would have yellow paint on them in the game. And then on top of everything, someone forgot some boards on here. Okay, it doesn't look suspicious at all. But there we go, now we have like a little playable level. Whoop. Ah. God damn it. I am gonna get it. Hey, there we go. Okay. Alright, I see some posts. Alright, let's go from the top down. Logica. I used more realistic assets this time. More pirate vibe though. Alright, sick. That is like a... I don't know why I thought about Valheim when I just saw it. It's kind of like Viking, almost like Viking vibe. Very cool. I like the scene. A little water with the rocks and everything. Very cool rocks that you used. So cool. You even got a little guy in there with a shield. What the heck? Looks like Ark Survival. The grotto too. Very cool. Very nice job. Got a big heart from me. That is cool. Happy to see some variation in here. Renan, here's mine. Thanks for the stream. Of of course, thank you for joining. It's nice having you, and it's nice seeing your amazing. See, looks very cool. I like the framing devices here. It's nice. It's very clear. Pyramid in the middle. Awesome. Very nice, very simple composition, but it works. Good job on that. You get a big heart from me. I think that is cool. Daravan didn't get very far, but was fun. I mean, you got a whole scene up and running. That is very far. I think that's cool. You got to use Unreal Engine. You got to get your scene up. Like, that is far in my eyes. I think it's fine for 1.5 hours. I think that's very cool. And it looks quite pretty. I see the beginnings of a little overhang here, with maybe like a balcony up here. Could be like a marketplace type thing. Very cool. So you get a big heart from me too. A pat on the back. I think that's cool. So good job on that. Lovisa. Very cool too. I like the monolith as like the center point here. You got the little walkway going around it too. That's awesome. Is that supposed to be like a little water basin with the inflow here? Something like that. It's very cool. It's the beginnings of an awesome scene. So you get a pat on the back too. I think that's very well done. Good job, people. Good job, good job. It's nice to see. I hope you all learned something from doing all that. Okay, one more time, open house tomorrow. Don't miss it, don't miss it. I think that was a fun stream. You get a heart too, let me not forget that. It's a fun stream. I think we got some cool scenes out of it. But that will be about it for me for tonight. I'll be back again. Same time, same place, next Wednesday for the sculpting stream. And that will officially be the last stream that I do on this channel, the boot camps. So I hope you all have been enjoying it, and I hope to see you all next stream as well. Alright, that's it for me. Good night, people. Have a nice rest of your evening or morning or midday, wherever you are in the world. Hope to see you all next time. I hope you got something out of it. Goodbye, people. See ya.